About the writer. Chakravarti Rajagopalachari, the 10th of December 1878 to the 25th of December 1972. Popularly known as Rajoji or C.R. Was an Indian politician, Governor-General of India, independence activist, lawyer, writer, historian and statesman. He personified the ideal of simple living and high thinking. Recipient of Bharat Ratna. He vehemently opposed the use of nuclear weapons, and was a proponent of world peace and disarmament. An accomplished writer both in his mother tongue, Tamil and English. Rajagopalachari wrote an abridged retelling of the Mahabharata and the Ramayana and also books on the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads in English. About the lesson, the essay What Makes a Nation? Is an inspirational speech by C. Rajagopalachari, delivered to the students of Lakshmi Narayan Institute of Technology, Nagpur on August 26, 1948. He appeals to the young men and women to strive hard for the development of the country, and to build the character of the citizen, while admiring them for their agile spirit and bubbling enthusiasm. He draws their attention to their responsibilities. Rajoji stresses the importance of character. Character is not merely a thoughtless imitated ideal. It is the wisest national policy that can be viewed by any statesman. It should be formed by the best qualities or traits. When we have character, things will work out well. In the national structure with which we are dealing, deception has no place. We must be true in our conduct and thoughts as a brick that supports a building is true. Our nation should be built on such solid foundation which is laid properly by good bricks. Honesty and hard work are commendable traits of character. When we are very upright in our conduct and honest in our minds, we shall make a glorious India. He advises the students that we should strive hard if we want to make India not only free but also splendid. This was the hope of those who fought for freedom. If we have character, freedom will produce happiness for us. Otherwise, it will smear our country's prestige. Rajoji further says that it is easy to be straightforward and to bear the troubles that arise out of it. We may fail to overcome them, but our failure supplements our glory. India is a vast country with a rich source of literature and culture. We are not a new state with new tradition. Our culture and literature are very precious and we have to live up to their standards. No material gain can deviate us from the path of rectitude. We shall remain committed and dedicated to build a strong, prosperous and glorious India. In his speech, we find what an ardent hope Rajoji has in young men and women who have to contribute much for the growth of our nation. He believes that a well-educated mother will promise a civilized and educated nation. She is the worthy principal of a family and makes her home a university. He opines that a university is not merely a place of learning, but also a seminary and training ground for worthy leaders of our country. Lakshmi Narayan Institute of Technology. His Excellency the Governor-General made the following speech at the Lakshmi Narayan Institute of Technology, Nagpur on August 26, 1948. Mr. Chancellor, Mr. Vice-Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, and last but not least my young friends. I wish I had the eloquence which your Vice-Chancellor commanded. I wish I had the courage which your representative sister commanded. I do not believe that when I was so young as that girl, I could have faced such a vast gathering of exhilarated, potentially mischievous material as the one ranged before me. I am amazed at the courage of your sister, my dear boys. Would you dare to think that one of you could come up and talk as she did in spite of all the possible shouts that you could raise? The first thing therefore I should do is to warn boys to be prepared against this competition of the girls. Not only have girls as much brain matter as you have, but they have been displaying in their studies a concentration which boys have not been displaying. I am not stating merely a theoretical proposition. I have been watching results in various institutions, and the curve of success is going in favor of the girls. Let me tell you. Mother India wants hard-working good boys and good girls, character being the gold out of which everything else is made. If we have no character, I tell you, this freedom that we are all acclaiming would be burnt up like waste paper. It is only if we have character that freedom will produce happiness for the millions of our country. Character is not merely a copybook ideal. It is the wisest national policy that can be conceived by any statesman. It is only if we have character that all things will work. Otherwise, not only freedom, education and the universities but the whole constitution will be mere waste paper. Hence the emphasis on character that has to be formed by the best type. I welcome the growing number of girls in schools and colleges because it means that the schools and colleges are carried bodily into families. We will not need to multiply universities if only our mothers are all university products. Then every home will in itself be a university. All boys and girls that have to be looked after will be looked after from the earliest stages in the home by a worthy principal, namely the mother of the family. Do you then doubt the evaluation I make that every girl graduate is worth 5 boy graduates, taking the average of a family to be 5? It is only in our country that 10 lakhs of people can congregate in a small area round a temple and finish a festival without accident. In other places, gatherings such as this will be possible only with organizations for preservation of order. Our culture is so ancient and so well established that we can ordinarily have the most difficult congregations without any special arrangements for preservation of order. I had feared that there was a deterioration in this matter in our country in recent times, and when I saw so vast a crowd in this place, I was a little doubtful whether you would maintain sufficient silence and discipline to let me complete my task of thanking you for all this affection you have bestowed upon me. We are in very serious times, because we are free. If we had not got freedom, the task would have been less serious. In the old days, our task was only to fight to wrest freedom, enthuse one another and carry on the work. That was easy as we know. But now that we have freedom and the entire burden of the future structure of our country is on our own shoulders, we must be as true in our conduct and thoughts as a brick that supports a building is true. We can deceive one another, but can we deceive dynamics? Can we deceive the laws of nature? If bricks are not true and good, and if they are not laid properly, the building will tumble down, whatever may be the engineer's words or promises. In the national structure we are dealing with, deception has no place. Unless we are very strenuous in our conduct and honest in our minds, we cannot make a glorious India. Whatever may be the policies and tactics of statesmanship, whatever may be the science of politics and application of politics, whatever may be the organization of government, ultimately, if we wish to make India not only free but glorious, as was the hope of those who fought for freedom, we will have to work very hard, and you will all have to be thoroughly honest. Is it difficult to be straightforward? If anybody has any doubts about it, all that we work for would be vanity. Unless we make up our minds that it is easy to be straightforward, easy to bear the troubles that arise out of straightforwardness and overcome them. The glory that our country deserves cannot be built. We are not a small state like some of the states in Europe or anywhere else in the world. We are not a new state with no tradition or culture to look up to. We are a great, big country. Even after partition we are a great big country, and we are a very ancient people with literature and culture which if we could sell to any other nation, they would sell their whole empire to buy. We have to work hard and live up to that tradition and culture. Therefore, friends, take what I say very seriously. It is easy to be straightforward. Difficulties that arise in life can always be overcome. Even if you fail, it will still add to your glory. Therefore, let us make up our minds that we shall in no matter swerve from the path of rectitude. In the first few years of free India, whatever be the work that comes to you, that is your God-sent job and you must do that work. We must all resolve that during this period, when we are laying the glorious foundation of free India, there is no time for wrangling or competitive ambitions. It is time for everyone to seize whatever work he can find and do it as well as he can and do it all the 24 hours. This is the time when we must do double shift, night and day, and build India quickly. I am old and I wish to see glorious India before I die. It is only your men and women like you who can guide the nation and guide it in the right direction. You are the leaders of India. A country with 400 millions requires many, many leaders. Leaders are not only those whose faces appear in the newspapers. He who guides people round him in his village or town or home is also a leader, and he should be a leader worthy of future India. Therefore, the universities are here. Universities are the hopes of our national leaders. Our government hope that the universities will produce rapidly, year after year, thousands and thousands of leaders to guide people aright in honesty and work throughout the country. Then all will be well. India will grow, not like a structure, but like a tree. India will grow like a natural organic body if only you are true to yourselves. Thank you. Subscribe and stay updated.